Oh my gosh. I'm just trying to do my best, folks. It's all we can do, right? That is all we can do. Just continually show up and do our best. Hand the rest over to God. Don't let it stress us and drag anchors through our moments and our days. It truly is what is, right? Even amongst the challenges we ourselves are faced with. And I just want to mention something. Now that I actually tapped into power for the first time, like an actual, we're actually still kind of off-grid, but an off-grid power system, I made the mistake of leaving my Starlink on as I slept. And I kid you not, I feel like I'm having an out-of-body experience. I am not myself today. I was sleeping far too close to the whole system, the Wi-Fi modem, everything. These frequencies are no freaking joke. Just like, you know, someone that wants to lose weight, a few pounds. Just, you can't look at like, oh my gosh, everything could be way overwhelming, and then next thing you know, you're stress eating. It's just the subtle shifts. You know, all right, cut this certain French fry out the diet or something, you know, and do the best you can on that. And then that'll lead to other things, right? Especially once you start seeing a result. That is what I like to challenge people regarding this frequency, because like food, it takes a while to see or feel results. It's not like some immediate thing. Oh, well, I shut all my Wi-Fi and power down last night and I can't tell if I slept any different. Well, I spent the whole summer shutting all AC down, all power, Wi-Fi, and last night I feel nuked right now. I'm just sounding the alarm on this because, gosh dang, if you don't try these experiments for yourself, you'll just never know as to potentially how negatively impacting that is to your neurological, your function, your everything. Unfortunately, I lost my Oura ring, so I haven't been wearing that for a while, but if I find it, then gosh, that would have been awesome record keeping. Like I probably could have actually showed you that I slept in excess of last night and I was more restless, and I'm guarantee I had less deep sleep, REM sleep. It's so crucial. Anyway, am I talking about this to be conspiratorial or push against, like, you know, new age equipment and stuff? No. I talk about this because I genuinely want the best version of you possible. So I just want you to think for a second, could it be possible? Because I've already built out my testimony, and I know these frequencies have extreme negative effects on our system. All right, that was enough of a tangent there. We're going to dive back into, blessed Janet, the fall of the Cabal. Can we allow this to become the actual fall of the Cabal? With what she exposes in this series, we could ensure that. Okay. Welcome to a muzzled chat. I just got to do one other verification. We look good there. And let's kick off the screen share. We'll see what episodes we can get through today. But we're going to pick up right where we left off, finish 10. So here we go with 11. If I could get a thumbs up from someone just to make sure my sound's coming through all right, I'd appreciate it. But let's be excited to learn, to expose, like Janet does so well, from good, shining the light on evil and the infrastructure and how it's impacting the world around us today. So we can do what? Just sit on our hands? No. so we can protect ourselves, our loved ones, and secure a better tomorrow for all. Let's go. Sound. Oh, still diving into Bill Gates. Tentacles of power spread in all the society. Wow. This is no joke.
Bill Gates and his investments. By following the money, one gets to know a person. If I were to accept someone's advice, for instance in the area of vaccines, I would follow that person's money to see where he comes from. Does he have my best interests at heart?
Good point.
What does following the money tell us about Bill Gates?
So
he has
much.
An interest in highly suspicious companies, a tendency to be drawn towards poison, and an absolute focus on depopulation.
Yeah. He said it himself.
Got population.
There it is.
Now, the world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
If we do a really good job at healthcare and vaccines, they can lower the world population for 10 or 15%. Folks, that's not health services. That's not caring for people. That's not falling under the label of vaccination unless we actually change the definition as to genocidal murder, bioweapon, kill shots. Are you freaking kidding me? Can you tell that clip? It's one of our favorites. It amps me up every freaking single time. It's so evil. I can't believe these creatures can talk about it as though they're doing us a service, as though we're doing good. And they're so manipulatable. People drink it up as though they are philanthropists, that they are doing things on best interest of humanity or God's children. Are you kidding me? How are they so good at what they do? Well, because they're following closely to their God. The God Jesus spoke of in the prince that Jesus spoke of this world, that is here to deceive and destroy. And that's what they've effectively been doing. That is why it doesn't matter your stance. It doesn't even matter what you've gone through. Like, you take an honest look at the pandemic, and it's our smoking gun. We can see the synagogue of Satan. Now, let's handle it on behalf of all God's children. Let's stop projecting the love we have for individuals and actually fulfill it by showing up and actually protecting them. Let's go.
Let's face it, a man who openly promotes reducing the world population in order to save the planet, telling the world vaccines can help achieve this goal, then promotes the same vaccines to save lives? Really? Make up your mind, Bill. Do you want to save human lives, or do you want to destroy them?
Right.
You can't have it both ways.
Have you go back. See how much the Bill and Melinda Gates, Janet went through it all. Study after study after study in Africa, all over the place. All of them with horrific outcomes, not positive, more horrific than what they were supposedly labeled. So that isn't that deceit? Isn't that murderous, destructive deceit right there? I don't understand how we didn't grasp this pre-pandemic, because all the evidence was there. This is why we can't allow them to gain more control over information and censorship. This is why we must abolish YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, anything or anyone that would be infringing upon our First Amendments and hindering. TikTok, the freaking talking heads. Are you kidding me? Done. Most of those individuals should actually go down for murder and crimes against humanity, to be honest.
Follow the money and you will get to know the man behind it. We have seen GMOs, infected mosquitoes, tests on human guinea pigs in less developed countries, bioweapons, child trafficking and abuse on Epstein Island. Not a pretty picture, Bill. What else are you up to,
Oh my gosh, what
else? The
else?
more we dove into the person, Bill Gates, the more we were shocked and nauseated.
Right.
Here are some more companies in which he heavily invested.
Oh my gosh.
They include many of the most criticized companies in the world for involvement in human rights abuses, labor abuses, environmental abuses, and tax avoidance. Big mining companies: Barrick Gold, BHP Billiton, Freeport-McMoran.
Are you seeing all these 100 million in first settlement?
Glencore.
Serious fraud. You pause it as you see fit. You could even screenshot as you see fit. This is so crucial. We absorb the evil act, like the reality of this existence, the world we live in, and the individuals that are causing so much grief amongst us.
Vedanta.
Golly, thank you, Janet. Does such a fantastic job.
That was voted with most contempt for the environment and human rights in the Public Eye Annual Awards. Agribusiness companies: Nestle, Unilever, Archer Daniels Midland, Kraft, Mondelez.
Kraft. How many Kraft products do you have on the shelves?
Chemical and pharmaceutical corporations, some of which we already mentioned. BASF, Dow Chemicals, GlaxoSmithKline, Novartis.
Oh my gosh. These are huge. $678 million settlement.
And Pfizer.
Pfizer. Scandal. Oh, yeah, let's go back. Oh. See.
And Pfizer.
Nigeria. 96. Come on, look at this. Pfizer fined record $84.2 million for overcharging NHS. Criminal. Pfizer fined $2.3 billion for illegally marketing an off-label drug case. $2.3 billion. These companies, Pfizer, Bayer, they've paid out the largest criminal settlements in history. Yet they became the supposed savior. They paid out the largest criminal settlements in history. And they were the saviors, viewed saviors during the pandemic. They're evil. Everyone engaged in it. Do you know how much wealth words. Biggest distribution of wealth in human history, that pandemic. What are they doing with those funds now? What were they trying to achieve with that? Would they not be continually trying to further what they were trying to achieve right there? Now, with even unfathomably deeper pockets. We're sitting here like fighting over crumbs and scraps that they're essentially allowing to trickle out, just enough luxuries to keep the masses and people, oh yeah, just a shot of hope, and okay, slowly more dependent on the government and a system and handouts. It's a little mix of both. When they're beyond money, they're above, it's just power control. We could hold these evil individuals accountable. Yes, and take out the ones that obviously are convicted, right? When it's treason, when it's crimes against humanity, yes, I vote death penalty. 100%. We should, the most prolific like mass murders ever. And it's not just Fauci. It's in they're just front men, puppets. We got to get the real individuals behind that, the bankers, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, take out BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street. We could do it together. We have nothing to be afraid of. There's millions of us. There's thousands of them. What's there to be afraid of? Sure, if no one backs me and I stand alone, but I'm willing to do that for you. We need to grasp that. Do not discredit the impact you could have. We must gain more momentum. We just need to get this message out there. So let's start right there and just share this. Janet stood alone. I mean, she gained quite a bit of support, but not enough to where, yes, she was taken from us. They got to her. I'm convinced in that. That is also an egregiously unacceptable outcome. Are we going to do anything about that? These individuals are not playing fair. They're willing to murder. We can convict and go the legal route. We just need to do it in such a mass just words. See, I'm telling you, I got nuked by that dang Wi-Fi. All right, let's continue. I'm sorry, I'm dragging on too long.
Beverage corporations.
Excuse me.
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Diageo.
Wow.
PepsiCo. And SAB Miller.
Involved
Construction
in so
companies.
much crap.
Caterpillar, which has long been accused of complicity in human rights abuses in the Palestinian-occupied territories. Defence contractors. BAE Systems, the UK's largest defence contractor and arms exporter. Excuse me? Arms? As in weapons? Bill?
Profit
And
from
we already
wars.
briefly mentioned is oil-based fertilizers. Well, guess what? The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Trust has a financial stake of $1.4 billion in fossil fuel companies
Wow.
such as BP and Anadarko Petroleum that was recently forced to pay a $5 billion environmental cleanup charge. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Trust has investments in 35 of the top 200 companies ranked by the carbon held in their reserves. These included coal giants, Anglo-American,
So hypocritical.
BHP Billiton, Glencore Extractor,
Wow.
and Peabody Energy, and the oil majors Shell, ConocoPhillips.
Because these are the individuals, they don't
Chevron.
care. It's whatever enriches them. They don't care. They just want to put us in a smaller and smaller box. These are the individuals pushing this Green New Deal. Unbelievable. The hypocrisy. They don't care about their hypocrisy because they're in a hierarchy. They just care that they maintain the power seat of control. That's it.
Total, and Petrobras.
They should care. We should hold them accountable.
What about the human carbon footprint, Bill?
Right.
Which part of sustainability don't you understand? Or does it only concern others, like the people, who subsequently have to pay new taxes, more taxes, anything to squeeze the life force out of them
Well,
just a little bit
he
more?
knows carbon
while you
isn't
enjoy
the
your
issue.
jet set lifestyle on
That's
your
why he's
yacht
invested in
and your
all that.
private plane? Hmm?
Jeez.
You know, Bill, you can try to fool us with your posture and your terrible choice of clothes and hair, but we see straight through you. Some people may still believe that you're a kind nerd, giving money away to charity, but more and more people see through you. Once you burst that nerdy bubble of yours, all that is left is a Rockefeller descendant who plays his puppet role in the depopulation agenda 21 and 2030. No body language with excessive hand gestures and nerdy glasses sticks. No fake smiles can ever fool those who are awake. And the number of awake people grows by the minute.
They don't care about the hypocrisy with that sign that just flashed by. My body, my choice regarding a vaccine, but like, well, their stance was like, nope, no choice. We get this to inject this foreign substance into your body. Yet they promote the my body, my choice, the murder of children. Like, they don't. Can't you see through their hypocrisies, their lies, their deceit, like what team they're really on? And it's Team Satan, clearly. I'm so sick of these freaking tyrannical rulers. I'm ready to assemble
now,
and freaking
in case you think you know
hold them
all there is
accountable.
to know about Mr. Gates, he comes up with yet another marvel of a plan to spray millions of tons of dust into the stratosphere to stop global warming.
Great.
I mean, seriously?
See, how does he go from owning all of that? Are you kidding me? Enriching himself on oil, all that she just went through, holy smoke, which is a lot. Which pays no mind to that because it doesn't matter. It's all a hoax. And then this whole fighting and what they're trying to do here, there's other nefarious, evil intentions behind it all.
Millions of tons of chalk are to be sprinkled up there to create a
Not
world-developing cloud that reflects sunlight away from us.
Aluminum,
a cloud to basically
barium,
cause a worldwide solar eclipse
plastics.
for indefinite time. This insane plan is funded by Gates and pioneered by scientists at Harvard University. Even they admit, I hope we don't need it. It's a very scary technology. It's quite terrifying. But the world with severe climate change
The
impacts can
chemtrails,
also be very
folks.
scary. My, that's one hell of a slogan. The initial test that was supposed to take place over New Mexico is currently on hold, amid fears that it could trigger a disastrous series of chain reactions, creating climate havoc in the form of serious droughts and hurricanes, and bring death to millions of people around the world.
There are a lot of things that are not on hold. That if you do your research, you look into the hurricanes, you look into all the sprays, it's not good. Once again, watch Frankenskies right here on Rumble. It describes the actual difference between a contrail and a chemtrail, and then in fact dives into what are they spraying with these chemtrails, and it even exposes all the a lot of the infrastructure behind it and individuals. They say it themselves. There's nothing conspiratorial about it. Unbelievable.
One fear is that spreading dust into the stratosphere may damage the ozone layer that protects us from hazardous ultraviolet radiation that causes cancer. Climatologists are also concerned that the circulation of ocean currents that regulate our weather may be disrupted. This could unleash a global outbreak of events that might devastate farmland, wipe out entire species, and foster disease epidemics. I don't know what's worse, climate change or this plan.
The plan.
Obviously,
climate
Bill
change
Gates
is a
more
hoax.
interested in his technological experiments than in the safety of people. Oh, I almost forgot. He's into depopulating the planet. Well, what a marvelous side effect then, right, Bill? There's a few more things about Mr. Charity that we think you should know. In 2000, he set up Gavi, Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization, now called Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. Not just that, he sponsored Gavi with no less than $4.44 billion. In addition, he pledged another $1.6 billion for 2021 to 25. Caterpillar, which is long. Gavi has the power to decide the price for vaccines, which is always way too high according to critics, such as Doctors Without Borders. Like we heard Gates say in the previous episode, he has a 20-to-1 return on investment when it comes to vaccines. He makes astronomical profits in times of need.
Right.
What a guy. On the board of Gavi are 4 permanent positions filled with representatives from the WHO, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation,
This is so
UNICEF,
good.
and the World Bank. In 2018, Gavi donated $388 million to the WHO.
Golly.
Gates owns the Vaccine Alliance just like he owns the WHO. He is everywhere. He decides what happens within Gavi and which decisions are made. When Gates wants a global lockdown, there will be a global lockdown.
Unbelievable.
If he wants a digital certificate to prove immunity, There will be a digital certificate to prove immunity. Mandatory. If he wants the entire world to be vaccinated,
No.
the entire world will be vaccinated. Mandatory. He has way more power.
Well, it may be done without consent. We allow them to continue their experiments on bugs in the sprays. It's only a matter of time till they find effective mixtures or scientific breakthrough for our bodies to absorb it through other means, whether it be our drinking water, our air. Yeah, it's not a joke. But mandatory in my arm over my dead body. Good luck with that.
Powerful than our presidents. Make no mistake. Is it Gates himself who is so powerful? Simply because he's a Rockefeller descendant? Or is he just a puppet on one of Warren Buffett's strings? Who knows? And does it really matter? What matters at this stage is that this evil empire is exposed to the world. Once the people know whom they're dealing with, do you think they'll still want their precious vaccine? In April 2020, President Trump announced stopping the financing of the WHO. Instead, he gave the money to Gavi. Many people were shocked by this action. How could he sponsor Big Pharma? Trump has always been openly opposed against the pharmaceutical industry. Did he try to gain influence in Gavi to temper Gates? Time will tell. The last thing we wish to share with you, before hitting the final nail into Gates' coffin, concerns the influence of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in global agriculture. A study performed by Green, published in November 2014, shows the shocking truth about the influence of the Gates Foundation in agriculture around the world. Do you still believe Mr. Gates is doing good in Africa? Do you know how much of his millions in grants for agriculture actually go to Africa? A lousy 5%.
Oh, wow.
Do you know where all the money ends up? With the CJIAR. International organizations such as the World Bank, UN agencies, etc. AGRA, the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, set up by Gates himself. The African Agricultural Technology Foundation, the AATF, and hundreds of different research, development and policy organizations across the world. In Gates' world, it's all about R&D and policy. His money does not go to the African farmers. It goes to scientists, to laboratories. Gates' tools, AGRA and the AATF, make sure that the technologies that come rolling out of the labs get into the fields of the African farmers without them having a say in it. Not only that, as if it weren't bad enough, Gates' money for agriculture does not go to Africa, where it's...
Why do you think he's now bought up so much land here? We could only imagine what he's been successful over there that has brought him more control, potentially more demoralization, dimming our lights, making us sicker, dumber, more compliant, more controllable.
It's badly needed. No, Gates wouldn't be Gates if he didn't favor the rich countries. By far the main recipient country is the US, followed by the UK, Germany, and the Netherlands.
Interesting. Wow.
So, the Gates Foundation fights hunger in the South by giving money to the North. How the hell is that going to work? AGRA. When we hear Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, we think irrigation projects, clean water, green fields. Forget it. AGRA's and Gates' promise to double productivity and incomes by 2020 for 30 million small-scale farming households, while reducing food insecurity by half in 20 countries, has failed miserably. Why? Because that was never the aim. Right. 15 years after Gates set up AGRA, together with the Rockefeller Foundation, the only one who has been reaping the benefits is Gates himself. The number of Africans suffering extreme hunger has increased by 30% to 131 million people in the 13 countries AGRA focuses on. The African biodiversity has been replaced by monoculture, mostly corn, and farmers who failed to switch to corn were fined by their governments.
Folks, Janet has such large shoes to fill. She does so well on connecting these dots and bringing all this information in digestible chunks in a singular series. Well, the initial 1 through 10 part, if you haven't seen it, check it out. But the sequel, 1 through, 26 or 27 now? Oh, I just had some overbearing feelings as we're going through this. Like, I alone can't even fulfill her shoes. I'm more limited, but dang it, I'm going to do what I can. And that's what we all must do and need to do on behalf of our futures and our loved ones. I pray and hope that you can get behind that with me and help me, whether it's sending links, whether it's helping funding, whether it's showing up and guesting on the podcast, or simply sharing it on all your socials with all people you know and even don't know. As we see people that are still out of the know, in my eyes, this is a very amazing series. And whether it's through me going through it or directly Janet's, you can copy, because I add all the links to these episodes, and you could build up your reservoir, create in notes in your phone, like quick links on powerful episodes, and compliment these individuals that are pro-vaccine and mask, somehow break through on a personal level to them and be like, I can see you're a very loving individual. I would love your thoughts on this series, The Fall of the Cabal, from Janet, that's no longer with us. I believe she exposed something very great, and that's why she's no longer with us. Here's a link. Would you mind giving me your input? Could have very drastic impacts, just bringing people into the know, so they're not going to line up and get, whether it's the shots, whether it's mRNA food or lab grown. We got to get the information out. And then it would also hopefully trigger within individuals the importance of getting on free speech platforms so they don't continually end up manipulated, and their families. We got this together. Help me fill Janet's shoes.
Diversity has been sacrificed in the name of technological advance. As a result, farmers have become more and more dependent on help from AGRA and their government to survive. Monocropping and the disappearance of nutrient crops such as agave and sweet potatoes have made the farmers most vulnerable to climate change and droughts. It has ruined their diet diversity, and it has exhausted their land. AGRA's money went to African governments, which in turn gave subsidies to the farmers if they did exactly what AGRA and thus Bill Gates told them to do. Buy high-tech seeds and chemicals sold by US corporations, in which Gates has shares. The seeds are expensive hybrid seeds that the farmers have to buy each and every year. The chemicals are fossil fuel-based petrochemical fertilizers.
They trapped him.
What happened to Gates' big mouth about sustainability and saving the planet? The fertilizers are very expensive. Most farmers don't sell enough corn to earn those expenses back. One bad harvest, and they are all left with debts and despair.
Control.
Monsanto and the other multinational seed companies are all there, benefiting from sales they would never have had without subsidies. Seed and fertilizer companies are the clear winners from these policies. By pushing his beloved technology down the throats of African farmers, Gates didn't exactly help them. He abused them and drove many to suicide.
Oh, man. Just because they collude with the talking heads in the war machine of information control. That's what's manipulated so many into believing as though they are doing good. Because under the guise, everything they do is well funded as to doing good. So it's a very well done projection. But as you can see, the actual fruits, the actual outcomes to every single thing they project is quite contrary. It's the opposite, and it's destructive, and it's controlling, and it's power, and it's enriching them at great suffering of millions globally. It doesn't just impact Africa, but my heart goes out to them, all of God's children.
How hard is it to use your money to do truly good by listening to the people's needs for a change? How hard is it to treat them as intelligent and experienced fellow men instead of a bunch of retards who don't know what's good for them? How denigrating is that? Why aim for 80% of the population being vaccinated when everybody knows that diseases are spread by bad hygiene and polluted water? Why not simply provide clean water and proper hygiene?
Right.
That would have been so much more effective, and it wouldn't have cost so much money. Before we move on, let's redefine philanthropy once and for all, shall we? Robert Newman said it so well in an article in 2012. Philanthropy is the enemy of justice. The point is that poor people do not tend to ask for charity. They demand justice, which requires not so much money from the rich world as fundamental changes in the way the rich world operates, including ending tax havens, limiting the power of corporations, and changing neoliberal economics. Philanthropy is not pushing your agenda down other people's throats.
Right.
It is not giving funds, means, or material to people who didn't ask for it.
Right.
It is not overruling other people's way of life simply because you believe that your way of life is superior. Philanthropy is not making investments in order to make more money for yourself.
Right. Unbelievable.
Philanthropy is the opposite of what is described in Agenda 21 and 2030.
Yes.
It is not helping dictators stay in command so they can continue to control and suppress their people, to wage war upon them, to have their precious minerals stolen, and to keep them hungry and terrified.
Right.
Philanthropy is not stealing other people's children and selling them as sex slaves.
Janet, I'm not doing you justice,
What is philanthropy? It is helping your fellow man.
Help me. I'm not doing her justice. We're not getting a big enough viewing. Help me get her message out. It doesn't matter whether you send it through UNMUZZLED chat or directly from the links I'm providing. We got to get this information out. She does such a fantastic job. Even if it's these later episodes in the sequel, these are so powerful. Thank you so much, Janet. I'm going to try my darndest to do her justice and others and you. That's what's important in this life. It's not the bread and the circus. It's not what we've been programmed, literally programmed to be, to do, all under a false sense of security and a false sense of freedom. We are not free with a Federal Reserve, a system that is indebting our government, which is indebting all the people of the country automatically out the gate. That is slavery. It's not freedom. We must abolish that. We must change the system. For frick's sakes, we'd be better off getting back to bartering than using a fake private company's currency that they could print. Taxes are a joke. They don't need our money, folks. They don't. They've proven that with the trillions that they just print. They don't need it. It's control. That's all it is. It's slavery. That's all it is.
It is sharing simply because you care. It is giving to the poor, but only if they ask for it, and only in a way that is truly helpful and respectful for them, not for you. Philanthropy is giving, sharing from an unconditional starting point, not because you want something in return. Philanthropy comes from the heart, not from reason nor technology. It is giving, sharing, because you truly want to make this world a better place. Bill Gates has other priorities than doing good.
Right.
He has spread his tentacles of power into every corner of the world. Do you think you've seen it all? Well, let me be quiet for a while so you can fully grasp the extent to which Gates is indeed omnipresent.
You know what? That was a good picture there. I'm so sorry. Let me capture that real quick. We're doing a screen print. Yep. Gates to hell. Say no to Bill Gates.
So you can fully grasp the extent to which Gates is indeed
Thank you for letting me get that. Yeah. Not good. Causing cancers. Jeez. Predicts it because geoengineering. Oh god. Golly, Janet, you are on it. Right. Oh, let's go back. Yeah, to communist China, right there. Bill Gates collaborated with China firm BGI. Genomics. Look, kid, I can't read these things. That was caught mining Americans' data. Like you, me, whatever you call it, the whole genealogy thing, same thing. They could individually target us with these mega databases. It seems far out, but do you even grasp the funds they now have? Are you kidding me? That's child's play to these individuals now. Jiminy crickets. Millions on bribes. Sabotage. Wow. 10 million bribe to Nigeria. Wow. Oh yeah. Yeah. Expelled him. Golly. That's right. Yeah, that's what I thought. Die suddenly after expelling the WHO, World Health Organization, for a false pandemic. He spoke truth. Another individual like Janet, the Cabal, couldn't allow to continue because they were far too effective on reaching the masses. Golly, we got to blow this up, folks. It isn't even the tip of the iceberg. They've taken out way too many heroes. Why are we going to sit back and accept these outcomes? You can't make this up. This is not a coincidence. Oh my gosh, this is warfare, folks. Come on, let's wake up. I know you get it. A muzzle chat. Yeah, rest in peace. Another. Oh yeah, that guy was awesome. We need to be careful because some of these donations to fight coronavirus could be used to transmit the virus. I want to urge you, Tanzanians, not to accept donations of masks. Instead, tell the donors to go and use them with their wives and children. Amazing quote. John got it. Known as a bulldozer. Coronavirus, he also quoted, which is a devil, cannot survive in the body of Christ. It will burn instantly. Wow, what a leader. Another quote from John. We have had a number of viral diseases, including AIDS and measles. Our economy must come first. Wow, that is so important. It must not sleep. Life must go on. Countries elsewhere in Africa will be coming here to buy food in the years to come. They will be suffering because of shutting down their economy. He clearly was inspired by our loving Creator. Clearly. He had questioned the efficacy of the COVID test in May, the last time the country published data of the coronavirus cases and deaths. After sending various animals and fruits to be checked for the virus, he said a papaya and quail and a goat all had tested positive. This was amazing. This is inspiration from something bigger than this life. With everything he's quoted thus far, and then doing things to that nature, because that in and of itself made mainstream news. The whole pandemic would have fell flat on its face. It would have ended before any closures, any business shutdowns, seizures, forced masking, shots, military, just all that tyranny, folks, that we're still dealing with a residual of today. And it's also transition. It's kind of like it's rippled out into a lot of different arenas. It's rippled out into the climate. So there's still a lot of momentum that was gained on that pandemic that still exists today. The COVID test. Unbelievable. PCR. Freaking crock. Quote, so many times I have insisted that not even that you are given is good. Oh. So many times I have insisted that oh wow. I have insisted that not everything you are given is good. That is so good. There could be people being used. That equipment could be used, but it could also be sabotage, because this is warfare. My goodness, John got it. Another warrior. I'm going to make note right here. I've watched some of his speeches and read into it, but we could do a whole series on this man and what he's done clearly with what's being stated here. Quote, the Ministry of Health should be careful. They should not hurry to try these vaccines without doing their research. Not every vaccine is important to us. We should be careful. We should not be used as guinea pigs. Everything he's saying here, it's just common sense. It's truthful. It's light. Yes, it's important. And what does it tell you? That they murder him because of this and his power of position, president of Tanzania. Unbelievable, folks. Vaccinations are dangerous. If the white man was able to come up with vaccinations, he should have found vaccinations for AIDS, cancer, and TB by now. True. On February 27th, was declared missing 2 weeks after he was officially declared dead. At first, he was said to have died from COVID-19. This was later changed into heart failure. He was murdered, folks. Just like the man before. Just like Janet. Just like so many doctors. Just like so many individuals that pushed against the propagandist COVID tyranny narrative. Unbelievable. How my heart goes out. Yes, rest in peace.
Do you see the whole picture yet? Bill Gates controls the air you breathe, the food you eat, the water you drink, the healthcare you get. He controls your life from the cradle to the grave. Do you wish to see the final nail in his coffin? Then let's move along to part 12.
As I multitask, refill my water. My heart goes out, folks. It just aches because we have such great opportunity with all this information. But it's like, what do we do with it? Well, let's just get it out there. Let's unite. Let's create momentum together. Oh, it's what we're trying to accomplish here. We're trying to become the hub. We're trying to become a solution and help. So I sat in on it was mainly contrived of a bunch of military men in a Zoom last night. And holy smokes, are they getting organized. Holy smokes, they're about to kick off a bunch of things to our benefit. So there are good things coming. There are good things here now. It's such a blessed opportunity. Yeah, I know it's less than ideal. It's like if we could snap our fingers or rub the genie's lamp, we would change how it is, but we can't. So it is what it is, and we can't individually go take out all these evildoers. We collectively can. And through God, through direction and His will. I mean, truthfully, if I'm being fully honest with you, I genuinely don't see, unless they do another event, but I don't know what would be bigger than the pandemic itself and individually going after every single one of us. It's just their propaganda and their lies and deceit was so effective that people aren't acknowledging the real, clear, hard truth of it. They're allowing it to just stay muddied in their mind and go back to a delusional, like delusionally as though they can go back to a life of normalcy. So unless evil really oversteps, and maybe they will with this election, I don't know. We're in a crazy time, but no matter even what outcome of this election, I'm not seeing enough organization from we the people. So ultimately, it does seem as though we are on that slippery slope. We are deteriorating. And it's up to us, unless we unify at a large enough percentage and ramped up enough, we're not riding the ship. It doesn't seem like through history, looking at history and all these egregious outcomes, and we just sat by and accepted them. it doesn't seem like we're gonna shift anything. If I'm being frank, doesn't mean it's not worth showing up, because we could minimize the suffering. More importantly, and I'm feeling this more profoundly each and every day I'm here, we get right with God. We tap into the reason why we're here. That more so is the opportunity that is left for us than even riding the ship. But in doing that, that will also give us the potential best hope. Maybe we will breathe another wave of light into this existence. I don't know. But if we just continue on the trajectory we're going, I don't even understand or see as to how, even with Trump, we may get a breath of fresh air to an extent, but it's going to be, in my eyes, slight. In my eyes, we'll still be going downhill pretty quickly. Anyway, don't mean to be disheartening. It just should ramp up the sense of urgency, and hopefully us showing up and fulfilling our roles as brothers, sisters, parents, and God's children and citizens of this country, or any country. I want to see any country really stand up to the tyranny. Let's go Canadians. Let's go Australians. Anyone. All right, let's continue. Thank you so much, Janet. She's doing such an amazing job. What a service she's done for all of us. Child's play to compared to what we are about to share with you. An apocalyptic tool so powerful it could mean the end of humanity as free and sovereign species. Hold on to your seats as we go further down the rabbit hole. Go. Janet.
We have spent 4 episodes on Bill Gates.
4 episodes.
A self-proclaimed philanthropist. You might ask yourself, could there possibly be any more evil coming out of this man's mind?
Yeah.
The answer is yes. We discovered even more darkness to share with you. And we promise, after this episode, we are done with him, and we will never mention his name again. Now, we briefly mentioned something big at the end of the previous episode. Gates' involvement in what we call gene drive technology, also referred to as extinction technology.
Wow.
We are literally talking technology to make entire species or races go extinct.
That's right.
According to researchers, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and DARPA are the world's largest funders of gene drive research. In short, gene drive organisms are created by genetically engineering a living organism with a particular trait, and then modifying the organism's reproductive system in order to always force the modified gene onto future generations, spreading the trait throughout the entire population. In order to be able to do that, one has to cut DNA and enable genes to be inserted, replaced, or deleted from DNA sequences.
Can I let you know, we can't even imagine, since the distribution of wealth during the pandemic and the enrichment of Gates and all these nefarious cabal, how much this has fueled this type of research, science, whatever you want to call it, the devil's work even. This has been ramped up to scales I believe we can't even fathom. So every day that goes by that we allow all this to continue without doing our part and holding them accountable for even that last pandemic and shutting down this type of whatever you want to label it research, we risk their next move of whatever sequences, whatever they come up with. It's a very dangerous game we are playing by focusing on our lives in a wartime. In football. I keep saying that because it's like, I have individuals ask, or it gets brought up, and it's just like, really? You're tapping into that during a wartime? Yeah. Let's continue.
The research of this amazing technology started off in 2003, massively funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It wasn't until 2015, and many, many millions of dollars later, when a breakthrough was reached and Bill Gates had his ticket to his mosquito ball, remember, from part 9? Now, we have already shown the dangers of gene drive technology. Think of the disruption of entire ecosystems. But it goes further than that. Gene drives are classified as synthetic biology, an extreme form of genetic engineering. Synthetic biology has been a field of interest of both Bill Gates and the US military and many other militaries around the world. Both Gates and DARPA, plus a secretive group of military advisors known as the Jason Group, have been investing insane amounts of money into synthetic engineering. Now, bearing in mind the possibilities of using this technology to create bioweapons, gene drives might be a marvel of technology. But in the wrong hands, it can and will have disastrous outcomes.
It is in the wrong hands, and it's
Gates
all
has made
ungodly.
Sure that the future of gene drive extinction technology is secured. He bankrolled the technology development, he shaped the narrative, he picked the policy negotiators, and even paid the lobbyists. Just to give you an idea of how powerful this man is, in early 2015, the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering and Medicine announced that they would have a major inquiry into gene drives. The study did not explore just the science of gene drives, but also aimed to frame issues around policy, ethics, risk assessment, governance, and public engagement around gene drives. It was sponsored by DARPA and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation through the National Institutes of Health and the Foundation for the National Institutes of Health. Several panel members were recipients of Gates funds. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation also channeled money into the MIT Media Lab to promote gene drive technology. This Media Lab, by the way, came into the news when it was revealed it had received donations from none other than convicted child rapist Jeffrey Epstein.
Wow.
In 2019, the Media Lab got $2 million from Gates through Epstein.
Wow. Unbelievable, right?
Funny how things always come back and bite you in the butt, right,
So
Bill?
evil.
Synthetic biology has become a multi-billion-dollar industry. Investment firms estimate that the industry will be worth $85 billion by 2030. That's an awful lot of money. We're talking about an industry that creates synthetic ingredients for the food industry, medicines, and lab-grown food products. In other words, it creates something artificially that does not exist in the natural world. Now, once again, that can either be a blessing or a curse, depending on whose hands it ends up in.
She's already exposed the people's hands it's in is no good. It's literally demonic. And I'm telling you, like, the more we rely on the fruit of our loving creator, God's spirit, the more armor of God we bear, we will be more so protected in a way. But we fall out of that favor so easily as mortals. So to have such a looming threat like right there at our door, my biggest fear, even over physical pain and issues and cancers, as horrific as they are, neurological dysfunction. I can't express with the Lyme difficulties and what I even am experiencing in this moment as I'm stuttering. When you lose brain function, you lose everything in this life. It's all you can do to maintain your job. It's all you can do to maintain a healthy relation with your wife and show up in a good way for your children. Good luck showing up and being a threat to those that created this at that point. We can't allow it to get that far. And they're investing in everything. We know the impacts from chemtrails with aluminum and barium in the plastics, creating Alzheimer's. We know the impacts of fluoride in the water, lowering IQ, causing other issues as well. We know big pharma and Western medicine and the vaccine schedule also with metals and carcinogenic chemicals. We know the carcinogenic and illegal ingredients that is being put into the food that is illegal in the majority of other countries. And they're centralizing that and they're ramping that up. All this, the experiments more. I mean, the bioweapon I'm experiencing is from Lyme disease from the freaking 50s, folks. Can you imagine what they're doing with mosquitoes and all these other things now? What are we doing? If we're not going to stand up and like seize this opportunity, then you might as well call Bill Gates and just like, hey, I'll sign all the waivers. I'll be your lab rat. You might as well. It's like doing evil wins when good people do nothing. Fact. And that's continuing. Now, there's a lot of amazing individuals you could see as she's exposed in this very episode. Amazing heroes. And they got taken out. We should be so alerted to where every one of those thousands, millions of us replace those individuals. And from here on out, with the floodgates open, the more they take out individuals, instead of thousands replace them, millions replace them. And it just ramps up the momentum against this evil. God bless you all. I don't want... It just is what it is. I don't want to be talking about these things like... It's not like... What would be the purpose of me talking about these things if there wasn't enough evidence to back up these bold statements? So consider, or you've already done your research and you know what she's speaking of and what I've been speaking of on this platform is true. And it is a grave threat. And it is fifth generation warfare. And we must put a stop to it. Help us get the message out. Reach out to unmuzzledchat@gmail.com. Help me create. What do you suppose? I need tech gurus. I need someone to build out a web page. Maybe even help out build out a network. We could use AI programs to up imagery and make things more trendy together. If you don't have the time or energy to put into it, please consider putting money into some funds that we can get individuals and experts engaged to help secure our future. I'm living out of a freaking, what is the inside of this? Like a 12-foot camper, guys, with 2 dogs on very little. Kind of negating my own health to an extent with Lyme disease, because with the flare-ups, I'm barely screeching by. And when things flare up, it's like I really should start engaging in my own health and probably step off all this. But I can't fathom stepping away from this, because as that's ramping up, it's like, damn, the war tactics are taking me out, so I can't show up on behalf of my brothers and sisters. So I just continually, to whatever effect, whatever outcome, keep showing up. I hope you can grasp that and understand that. It's so crucial. This is what we're put here for. We can't delusionally just sweep this under the rug, go to a life of normacy. Like, enough of us do that. It's only a matter of time, and none of those things will matter. None of them. Let's secure that those things matter, that we can engage in those type of mindless activities that we just enjoy in this existence by winning this damn war. Together, let's go.
As we have seen, synthetic biology is all about changing DNA into the so-called perfect mode, which could be absolutely brilliant.
Perfect mode.
It could mean the end of disease. Our DNA could be programmed to fight AIDS, for instance, or even hereditary diseases, such as autoimmune diseases or certain types of cancer. They could be eliminated for good. Can you imagine the absolute...
That will happen when we get back to our loving Creator, as it's depicted in the Bible. No more illness, no more pain, no more suffering, no more evil, if that's the God we choose. But in this life, that's far out, hon. It would take a collective of God's people to ensure the proper checks and balances that this type of research only has positive outcomes. But we're not there. We're left in the dark. We don't have a choice. So with the God of this world being the deceiver and the destroyer, with these people in power, it is nothing but bad outcomes and evil. You'd be insane to even consider that, oh, this is going to be for good. Unbelievable. Like we can see Janet's laid out enough for us beautifully. I'm so grateful. Let's continue.
Absolutely wonderful breakthrough in medical science.
Oh my gosh, that guy's adorable. Get it.
However, in the wrong hands, it could be disastrous. First of all, it would be a very expensive way forward, meaning only the very rich people would be able to buy good health, good genes, while the ordinary people would have to wait for traditional medical treatment. Now, don't get me wrong, we are pro-advance, but when Bill Gates comes into the equation, we are highly alerted. As we have seen in previous episodes, Gates is a eugenics fanatic. The step from eugenics to synthetic biology is only a small one. Remember the Nazis and their efforts to create a pure race? Tall, athletic people with white skin, blonde hair and blue eyes? The Aryan race? Well, guess what? A new term has been coined for eugenics. Designer babies. We are not kidding you. When you have enough money, you can actually tell your synbio doctors what kind of baby you want to give birth to. Green eyes? Dark skin? A boy or a girl? Highly intelligent? A natural-born leader? You
it's
name
not
it,
natural.
They will program it. A few cells in a petri dish, which will then be placed in your womb, or in an artificial womb, yet another marvel of technology from the Netherlands. We think you know by now that when Mr. Gates is involved, one has to be cautious. Be it vaccines, be it synthetic biology. When Gates promotes it and puts millions into it, something is off. Back to the food industry. Gates' latest investments include Impossible Foods and Beyond Meat.
Not good.
That make processed meat-like burgers from a synthetic biology-derived blood substitute. Sounds marvelous, doesn't it? I mean, we've been vegetarian.
Didn't China just report that they can make burgers out of human poop? Feces, our own excrement. They can make burgers out of it. Wow. Wow.
For decades out of sheer love for animals, and we would welcome any new and tasty veggie burger.
No.
From the hands of Bill Gates? Seriously? When a man who is an enthused depopulation advocate starts producing our food? Not a good thing. Let's have a closer look, shall we? After all, more and more viewers are concerned about the welfare of the planet and the animals that live on it.
Stop poisoning the animals God put here for us to have domain over, and playing God and trying to come up with these crazy substitutes. Are you freaking kidding me? It's not leading anywhere good. Pro-advancement, we can't even consider any type of pro-advancement till all this corruption's dealt with. Then from there, sure, we can really look into it, but there needs to be proper thorough studies on every single thing before any type of rollout, which is obviously is not the case right now.
Beyond Meat was founded in 2009 in California, but the first burgers didn't hit the market until 2012. In less
Causing
than 3
cancers.
years, the company went straight to the stock market, where its shares exploded 840% during its first 3 months being listed. Investment firms said they had never seen anything like it. As of March 2021, Beyond Meat has a market value of $8.16 billion. For a bunch of veggie burgers? Really? Impossible Foods was founded in 2011, also in California. Its first burgers hit the market in 2016. Contrary to Beyond Meat, Impossible Foods is not on the stock market. It earns its fundings from venture capital funds and celebrity investors like Bill Gates. The company has brought in $1.4 billion. Its current value is estimated at $4 billion. As we were editing this episode, news arrived that Impossible Foods is ready to move forward to the stock market with an estimated value of $10 billion US. Once again, for a bunch of veggie burgers? Well, it's not just veggie burgers. It's synthetic biology products.
Right.
That's where the money is going. That's what a man like Bill Gates is so excited about. If he were truly thrilled about vegetarian food, he would have invested in companies like the Vegetarian Butcher or Corn, right? The truth is, Gates couldn't care less about the well-being of animals. He is into depopulation, eugenics, GMOs, and now synthetic biology. Why? So he can play God. Synthetic biology means redesigning life. New biological systems are created, systems that do not exist in nature. It is the extended version of genetic engineering. According to synthetic biologists, organisms created by means of synthetic biology would be considered new species, a complete biological system that could not have evolved from nature and would even have to be classified in a separate domain of life. Playing God.
Not good.
Like we said before, this can be a curse or a blessing, depending on who is the creator. A beautiful example of SynBio is a bacterial system capable of avoiding the immune system, of sensing tumor cells, of invading and destroying them, and then self-destruct after a programmed time. Or how about this one? An alga that is capable of producing biofuels from carbon dioxide. Wonders of technological advance. But in the wrong hands? Take that same bacterial system we just mentioned. How about programming it to attack the immune system instead of cancer cells?
Which they've done.
Then let it self-destruct after a programmed time, and the cause of death will never be discovered.
Died suddenly now.
For people like Bill Gates, synthetic biology is an absolute blessing. The term was well chosen. The word biology does wonders, like sustainability. It has a direct association with nature, green, eco, marvelous psychological effect. Whereas the word GMO is now connected to certain doubts concerning the health of people and planet. Furthermore, definitions of synthetic biology are still changing. And when it comes to, for instance, FDA approval, it's all about definitions.
Yeah, FDA
right now,
is so corrupt.
Believe it or not, manufacturers of products that are based on SynBio do not legally have to disclose this.
Unbelievable.
They do not have to label their products GMO, as the definition of SynBio is slightly different.
That is not okay. Another form of experimenting on the masses without our consent.
Even though
what are we
it is
doing?
Much more extreme
Shut
than
this
GMO.
frick down. Oh my gosh. Don't be fooled. 30,000 food products with non-GMO project label may be false or misleading. FDA guidance document says 30,000, folks.
And that is exactly what we see with the products of Beyond Meat.
This is how we're chasing our tail. Continually chasing our tail till we actually address this corruption. How are we going to vet everything? Everything we digest, everything we put into our system and our environments and everything. we're going to continue, by design, their design, we're going to continually be in this deteriorated state and diminished state until we're fully encompassed in that. That's why this window of opportunity is closing every day, till we start shutting some of these war tactics down. I hope you can see that. I hope that fires you up. I hope because of that you send this to 100 or 1,000 people and we actually start gaining more traction and do Janet justice. She paid her life to give us these messages and do all this research. Unbelievable. And so many others like Janet that she's even covered.
Its founder, Ethan Brown, doesn't mention SynBio in interviews. It cannot be found on the company's website and or its packaging. What's even worse, Beyond Meat states their products are GMO-free.
Unbelievable.
SynBio, yes.
Liars, deceivers.
That does not have to be disclosed. How shall we call this? It's legal, all right, but only because of the flaws in the system.
Yeah,
we would definitely call
legal.
this consumer deceit.
Yes.
Now, the funny thing is, on its website, Beyond Meat doesn't even claim to be producing vegetarian or vegan products. They say their products are plant-based, but there's no mention of their products being suitable for vegetarians or vegans. At least not when we produce this episode. What about the products as they are sold in the shops?
Yeah, I don't know if in 2021, if the information has come out regarding all of this, it's causing cancers. 100%. In fact, it's been proven they're using cancer cells to create some of this artificial meat. And surprise, surprise, I guess some of these cancer cells are activating within the humans that are digesting them and causing freaking cancer. This is no joke.
Beyond Meat put on some of its products the word vegan or vegetarian, but not on all. Far from it. From a marketing point of view, this strikes us as odd. It uses the icons for no GMOs, no soy or gluten, and kosher. The words plant-based sausage mean nothing. It can be based on plants, but still contain meat. So don't be fooled by the words plant-based. So, what is the main secret of Beyond Meat's bleeding burgers that they are so proud of? Red beet juice. Believe it or not, after years of developing vegetarian burgers by many other companies, nobody came up with the idea to use red beet juice to mimic the bleeding of meat? Are you kidding me? That's not exactly rocket science, is it? You want to know why it was never discovered before? Because it doesn't work. Try it. Red beet juice does not turn into a juicy burger taste when fried. It just doesn't have that bloody iron taste to it. Beyond Meat's secret is synthetic biology, and that has nothing to do with healthy veggie burgers.
Right.
How about Impossible Foods? Their main secret is heme, genetically engineered soy leg hemoglobin.
Ooh, that's not
According
good.
to scientific advisor to Impossible Foods, Dr. Michael Eisen, in order to provide tasty alternatives to animal meat made from plants, you need lots of heme. And to get heme, you need genetic engineering.
Not good.
Impossible Foods makes this GMO heme by taking DNA from the root of soy plants, where a small amount of heme is produced, and inserted into genetically engineered yeast that is then fermented to mass-produce GMO heme. Well, at least they are honest about the GMOs, but mind you, this SynBio substance has never been consumed before.
Right.
Nobody knows what the effects will be on body and mind after consuming certain quantities for a certain amount of time. On its website, Impossible Food doesn't claim to be producing vegetarian or vegan products either, just like Beyond Meat. They too only state their products are plant-based. The packaging of their products tell us they do not contain animal hormones or antibiotics. Excuse me? That is not quite the same as vegetarian or vegan, now is it?
Right.
From a marketing point of view, the packaging seems cheap and not appealing at all. Not quite what one would expect from a multi-billion enterprise, right? Impossible Foods does show us the icon of bioengineered, which looks tempting as in eco and green,
Right.
but don't be fooled. Remember this icon. No matter how good it looks, it means trouble. We advise you to stay away from it.
Yes.
We mean it
Be a
when
lab
we say
rat.
that we truly wanted these miracle burgers to be the real thing. But after careful consideration, we turned them down. They are not the vegetarian product people are looking for.
Right.
They are GMO'd and syn-bio'd.
Right.
And we tasted them. They taste like meat. Full-on, juicy meat. Now, we don't know what's causing that, but we do not believe it's because of red beet juice or heme. Could it be the result of certain flavor enhancers? Did you know that some of the most powerful flavor enhancers are based on human embryonic kidney cells, the HEK293 cells? In other words, kidney cells taken from a human aborted baby?
Come on.
Ever heard of Cenomix? A biotech company from California, bought by Firmenich from Switzerland in 2018? The business that received $7.5 million from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation? We know, too far-fetched, right? I mean, can you imagine? Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods containing fetus kidney cells to add the meat flavor? Without telling us?
Wow.
I mean, we know that a lot of products contain these human embryonic kidney 293 cells.
Look, all right, so I've paused these before and considered these. You ought to screenshot this. These products contain human fetal tissue cells. 100%. You could look into them yourself. And she goes over much, much more. She does such a fantastic job. Golly, those are big shoes to fill, folks. Help us fill her shoes.
To increase their taste. But come.
Look at that. Yeah, Trident. Stop chewing Trident.
Come on. Fake
Unbelievable.
veggie burgers? Nah. We're pretty sure that the fact that the location of the production
Vaccines.
facility of Impossible Foods in Oakland, California, being right across the street from Planned Parenthood is
Look at that. Planned Parenthood, Impossible Burger.
just
Unbelievable.
a creepy coincidence. Just like the fact that the production facility of Beyond Meat is only a few minutes' drive from 3 Planned Parenthood clinics. Just a creepy coincidence. Although, in 2018, Beyond Meat partnered up with Zandbergen, world's finest meat from the Netherlands. That's right, originally a butcher and now an importer of frozen meat from across the world. Zandbergen states it is proud to be working with Beyond Meat that has replaced meat protein by plant protein. Synthetic biology, all right. Creating new species, remember? Replacing meat protein by plant protein doesn't exactly make it vegetarian, now does it?
Nope.
Oh, and guess what? Beyond Meat's manufacturing facility in the Netherlands is only 7 minutes away from an abortion facility, the Emma Clinic, in the city of Enschede. Bearing in mind, the Netherlands only has 15 abortion facilities. What are the odds? Gates now believes the wealthiest countries should switch to eating 100% synthetic beef in order to help combat climate change.
Wow.
Of course, climate change. If you can't blame it on COVID, blame it on climate change.
Right.
Now, the poor countries cannot afford synthetic meat, so they can continue eating real meat. But
So, climate change is real. Different than they're projecting. There's a natural warming and cooling based on the solar cycles from the sun. We are currently in a warming cycle. It's about to peak. It has yet to peak. That is what's impacting temperatures, not cow farts. Okay? So climate change is just a natural occurrence of this existence. There's a reason why it went from, oh my gosh, like things are going to freeze out and blah, 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 not a while back. And then, oh my gosh, global warming. And then now they shifted to climate change. Well, duh. It's a natural occurrence. And there's nothing to fight the natural occurrence of the solar cycles. Okay? It's all tyrannically, it's just control. Okay? That's what it is. It's manipulation. And it's getting all these freaking fairies to believe all this lies. And poison us more and more. Unfreaking believable. How 4 episodes, this is 5 episodes now of this man, criminal, engaging in the most horrific things we can't even fathom, yet Janet just exposes it. Any one of the things, literally the hundreds being exposed, should see this man hanging from a lynch. I mean, we could do a proper investigation, but it's pretty darn clear. There's plenty of information of the atrocities. Just the experiments in Africa alone. Unbelievable. The ties to Epstein. Everything. Once again, what is wrong with us? Do we like being controlled? Do we like being experimented on? Do we like being slaves? Evil's projecting old school and demonizing American history and all these things because pigmentation and slavery, things of that nature, when it's like, look back throughout history, we've all been slavers, or just, but the reality, it's just distraction tactics from the actual slavery we're all experiencing now. The more tyrannical slavery of even the financial debt system and much, much more. It's just a way of pitting us against each other so we don't unite against this tyrannical two-tiered cabal. Let's go after the freaking cabal. Let's allow this episode to fulfill its purpose. The fall of the cabal. Let's go.
That will have to be GMO'd, of course.
Oh my gosh.
Bill Gates has taken over our food supply. He GMO'd our seeds, and now he is getting rid of the American beef industry. He is destroying farming, and he's buying up farmland. This way, he will soon control every aspect of our food. How it is produced, what is put into it. Gates will do in the US and Europe what he has already done in Africa and India. He will force you to obey his rules and regulations. If you disobey, you will be fined, thrown in jail, and you will be refrained from food, the #1 necessity in life.
Wow.
Gates has found yet another way to subjugate us completely and utterly to his whims and wishes. Now, if that doesn't worry you, we don't know what will. Well, maybe this will. All current COVID vaccines are the result of synthetic biology. All of them. They have not been tested. They are not approved. They are referred to as GRAS, generally recognized as safe, which means absolutely nothing. And they are in an experimental phase
means a
until
manipulation.
2023. Let that sink in. You are part of a massive medical experiment. By injecting a SynBio product into your body, you could be changed into one of Gates' products, a SynBio'd, genetically modified product. After everything we have shown you in the previous episodes about Bill Gates, exactly how safe does that make you feel?
Right.
Now, during the very first seconds of this episode, we promised you that this would be the last one about Gates, and that was truly our intention. I mean, we are so fed up with him, you have no idea. But as we are approaching the critical half hour, we're afraid there's just a few more things about him that will put things into perspective in a way you've probably not seen before. Bear with us and move along to part 13.
Holy smokes. I love you all. I hope this is helping light that spark. Above all, to draw towards the light. It's why I'm so grateful for Janet. Like, I remember I was more asleep. I was more under the misinformation, the mass psychosis, when I initially even came across this series. But I was thirsty, and I remember it being disheartening to an extent. But when you start relying on the light, and tapping into our loving creator and establishing that relation, whether further strengthening it or reaching out for the first time, you get gifted clarity, strength to not allow this to bring you down. Janet got it to where she obviously could speak out on the most horrific things in such a positive way. Just sheerly exposing evil with light. I love her accent. I love her energy. Everything she's doing or has done. She's obviously no longer with us, but her work lives on. 26 minutes, but yet that'll push us over the 2-hour mark. Well, it seems like we're just going to continually only get through 2 episodes at a time. It's important that we get through it thoroughly. I am going to be taking a little bit of a break. I got to go down to the valley and I got to get my vote in. I caught wind today that I may be able to get it out today, but more than likely it's going to be tomorrow. So that means no episode more than likely tomorrow. And we'll see when I can make it back up. Frick, we'll see if the world's still spinning at that point. My goodness. It is crazy. Let's not be disheartened. We're only visiting here. Let's do what we can on behalf of one another. That's what's important. Let's lift each other up. Let's expose evil. Let's do what we can. If some of us fall along the way, I mean, that's this life. That's how warfare goes. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's what's happening. That's what happened with Janet. It's what happened with John and the other individual. Let's not be disheartened. All right, Jesus is calling. Let's tap into this daily devotional. November 4th, it reads, "Walk peacefully with me through this day. You are wondering how you will cope with all that is expected of you. You must traverse this day like any other. One step at a time. Instead of mentally rehearsing how you will do this or that, keep your mind on my presence and on taking the next step. The more demanding your day, the more help you can expect from me. This is a training opportunity since I designed you for deep dependence on your shepherd king. Challenging times wake you up and amplify your awareness of needing my help. That is the silver lining of this warfare. I've said it many times on this cast where before all this warfare really kicked off, I was like, man, I'd whine and complain. I was born in the wrong era. I would have been better slinging pistols or a battle axe in medieval days, or just blah, 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 like credit scores and blah, all these complications. Well, no, God doesn't make mistakes. Now it's clear to me why he put me in this time. Without these challenges, without this warfare, I genuinely question whether I'd have any faith at all had he put me in those other times. So there's great contrast between good and evil right now. There's great distinction to be had. However, the warfare is muddying a lot of that distinction. So in abilities, but yet again, in this great book of truth and multitude of books of truth, it states that God won't allow the evil one to get between the relationship we can have with him. What do you suppose comes from that relationship? This is the creator of it all. Look what Jesus was able to do and heal and conquer death. He will give us what we need to get through this existence. And if we're to bear the shield and the sword and get to the front lines, then through knowledge, through facing the truths, and not being ignorant in this existence and facing the challenges, like we will fall into the role in the will he has for us all. Challenging times wake you up and amplify your awareness of needing my help. I want that on my wall. That's so true. So powerful. When you don't know what to do, wait while I open the way before you. Trust that I know what I'm doing and be ready to follow my lead. Excuse me. I will give strength to you, and I will bless you with peace. So grateful. Thank you. Our dear Father in heaven, our loving Creator. There are 4 scripture references here. I challenge you to look them up. It's only going to breathe light into your day. We need to walk in his presence every moment, more than ever before, folks. We really should have been doing it our whole lives, but then again, like, he gave us free agency, and it's a hard thing to figure out. But the window's closing and our time is fleeting. Whether we live out of normal life expectancy, but every day that continues when we're not showing up, in my eyes, what is the nature of warfare gonna lead to? A limiting of life expectancy. That's just how it's gonna go, unless we start pushing back on the front lines. That's just it. It's simple. All right, so these scripture references, we got Exodus 33:14, Deuteronomy 33:25, Hebrews 13:20 through 21, and Psalm 29:11. Let's do 1 minute prayer and we'll wrap things up. Hope I'm not reading the same ones. This one's also under success. The title states, "Practice makes perfect." It's a scripture reference. So if you have not been trustworthy in handling worldly wealth, who will trust you with riches? And if you have not been trustworthy with someone else's property, who will give you property of your own? Luke 16:11-12. Lots of things to consider there, even in like the heavenly sense, the relationship with God. Okay, the prayer reads, "In my early years of adulthood, I was not a very good steward, Lord." I admit, right there. You had given me numerous blessings, opportunities, and elements of value which I abused and squandered. 100% guilty. But that's a beauty. He never gives up on us. He's continually pursuing us. There's not guilt, shame, all these things. He's waiting there for us to depend on him at any point. It's hard to explain. Then I had years of want and regret. Been there. Now I see your hand guiding me once again toward success and ownership. You do not call me to great wealth, but now I understand how to be a steward of each day and every blessing. Wow. May we all get to that point. Pray in Jesus' name. God, let me seek wise counsel in matters of money and property, so I can serve you, your body, with such blessing. And may I always seek your counsel as I make decisions about the biggest blessings of all, the gift of life. This is such a gift. What a crazy opportunity we have to simplify this existence. In my eyes, God, our loving Creator, is all about free agency, and He put us here to choose. Our Father, to choose our eternal fate, and have all sorts of wonderful experiences and challenging ones. He's everything free agency. So will you choose a lesser God and gain things of this life through the destroyer, or will you choose our loving creator? It's actually shameful. I wonder, not that it matters, it's to my own personal life. If you did a percentage, how many years, how many moments was I walking under the wrong one versus the right one? I don't mean to be self-critical. I just want to be honest with myself so I can be more urgently, more humbly, meekly, like engaged in that relation. Be honest with myself with the level of importance. It's everything. That is what matters. 100%. And what we do on behalf of his children here. We save one soul, folks. You help me save one soul on this podcast. There will be glory in I believe, that we can't even fathom. And it's not about changing someone's will or warping someone into our beliefs. It's just it's hard to even to put into words, but for people to just experience the peace, the salvation, the glory, the meaning, the purpose. I was once lost. I didn't deserve it. But through Jesus Christ, I was born again. You kind of connect all that. I'm struggling here. That Wi-Fi's no joke. Okay. That being said, I hope everyone's voted. I hope everyone's gonna get out and vote. I don't care how long the line is. Wish me luck. I don't know how well I'm gonna do going down to the valley. Whether I'm gonna be seeing a lot of God's children or a bunch of zombies and freaking robots. Just tuning into freaking big screens and football and all these just worldly, nonsensical things during a wartime. I can't. God, give me strength. But I'm going to show up with maybe hidden cameras and be recording and such through the actual voting process and see if there's any shenanigans. We'll see. Maybe I'll have some very colorful encounters. It's a good thing I'm already crippled so I don't act out of line. No. It's not about strife. It's trying to help those that are lost see the bigger picture, that we are not each other's enemies. Look at how much is against us. Look at what Janet has exposed. What a freaking gift. Help us send this far and wide. And that's the message we're going to end on. I love you all. Bless you all. Let's continue to grow, gain clarity, gain that strength and peace and resilience and dependence on our loving Creator God together and create the momentum together. That being said, I can't wait to connect with you soon. Until then, take care.